Let's try hiking from my apartment to the Groningen Central Station.
If you would like to see what time I spent on the road, please watch the entire video until the very end. I began my hike at around 14:49, and by the time I did get into the main road, it was already 14:51. As there was construction down the sidewalk itself, I then went straight towards the main road, continued to walk past the Bedrijven Pijzerweg walkway, and continue walking where we see a large shop area towards the side. It is a very large shop area until I reached the Woonforum at around 14:59. I then looked around for a little bit until I went towards the side of the building where the main entrance was, crossed the road, as well as the two other car parks belonging to the Woonforum. I then went towards the end of the car park where I found myself in a T-junction, and the time was around 15:01. Afterwards, I then crossed the second zebra crossing, as well as the train tracks, and soon after that, I find myself at the second part of Pijzerweg. I then turned right, crossed the road, and went on towards the pavement. And this part of the Pijzerweg I realized was surprisingly warm, and so I sweated a little bit, and then I went straight towards the end where I saw like a large building over there. And then I continued on walking straight, but there was a car blocking the road, so I weaved past it, and I continued on walking straight until I reached the end of this walkway, where I spotted two zebra crossings. This is also where I realized I had just gone the wrong direction, because I should have turned left and go to the other zebra crossing to cross the road to Patterswoldeseweg. After essentially crossing the border into Patterswoldeseweg, I then went on a straight walk, while I'm also actively looking around this part of town since I have not been to this part of Groningen, and there was exactly nothing very interesting. But in the end, I then stumbled upon an intersection where I turned right to Emmesingle and went again on a straight walk. Yes, there's a lot of straight walks in this video, which isn't exactly surprising. Towards the end of this walkway, I then encountered a bridge, which takes a while for it to come down because there's a boat passing by below it. The bridge would then eventually open, which also meant that I can walk straight through it. I then afterwards walked to the second part of Emmesingle until I reached the end of the sidewalk, which is where we enter Stationsweg, where after which I then have to wait for another pedestrian traffic light. I then wait for the red light to turn green, and after it turns green, I then went straight through it, even passing through the bike lane. And after that, I just then walk straight into the Groningen Hoofdstation, or Central Station. The Central Station, or Hoofdstation, also houses the Groningen Central Bus Station, as well as the Central Taxi Station towards the right, as you can see. So overall, the walk took this many minutes. Please comment down below if you want to request where in Groningen should I walk to next.